So, I asked around, and some whale in Europe is trying to fence a huge rock on the black market. He calls it the Right Eye, saying it's part of some set called the Eyes of the World. Fits the bill of what you're after, don't it? Now, here's the funny bit. The stone passes around the halls of power for hundreds of years, vanishes, and then the black market goes white hot for the thing. But the seller wanted an arm and a leg for it, to the point no one could stomach the price. So back goes the stone. But not before everyone figures out where the guy is. You're gonna enjoy doing this one, I bet. I love sticking it to the rich. Of course, when you do, don't forget your old buddy Enzo stuck his neck out on this one. Slide me a few fuzzoles out of the rich guy's pocket for my troubles, right? Anyways, you better get going before the trail gets cold. Off to the middle of nowhere. Paradise of Europe. Vigrid.
Welcome to Vigrid, our final stop. Entry visas are required of all travelers. Please submit your Vigrid-issued entry visa for inspection upon disembarking. Please make sure you take all your valuable belongings with you. Repeating this message. Welcome to Vigrid, our final stop. Entry
You have arrived at last, my dear. The time has come to awaken the eyes of the world. Fear not, my dear child, such a beautiful young lady you've become. I'll always see to it no harm comes to you.
So, this is supposed to be paradise?
Alright, hello everybody, the Iodyte here, and welcome back to another installment of Bayonetta. Now, I am going to apologize ahead of time for how long it actually is going to take to get this episode uploaded and how long it took it to get it recorded. Mostly because while doing this, Bayonetta 2 came out and I immediately hopped on that train and I played the ever-living crap out of it for quite a while. I purchased the strategy guide. It's like the first one I've purchased since the Pokemon Platinum game, which was a long time ago. So I'm working on getting everything and just completing the game in its entirety. So that way, whenever I get around to doing it, I'll pretty much know exactly what to do, where to go, and if I don't remember, well, then I have the strategy guide to do it. Excuse me. So anyway, that note aside, back to this game. What I'm doing here is I am destroying every single one of these benches, and in doing so, will force the train to move, revealing a hidden goodie, of which I will describe once we acquire it. Why this is how it works is beyond me. I honestly find it kind of obnoxious, but that's what they decided to do. It's little hidden goodies, and there's a lot of this stuff peppered throughout the game. Tons of hidden goodies, tons of secret areas, and some of them require a bit of backtracking. Now, what I'm going to try to do here is replicate something that I did while I was doing a test to make sure I did it. I stood on the train, did all that, I got right here. Yeah, and it did that. That's the sound you get whenever you get a platinum, I think it's a platinum or pure platinum. They could be the same sound. I don't know. I don't know if it actually does anything or if it's just a bizarre glitch, but that's what happens. I did it the other time. It just struck my fancy. Now, for some of the things that I've picked up but haven't actually described, I picked up 3 items that are used for crafting the Mendaga root, the unicorn horn, and something else that I can't remember, but I'll get to in a second. Right after I just finished destroying these guys. And what they're used is they're used for crafting. And obviously when you craft items in this game that can help. And the items that I don't think I showed off because I'm pretty sure in the first part I actually skipped a stupid obnoxious minigame that I can't stand. But I'll probably show it off in the middle of this part because, well, it's part of the game and it's my goal to show it off, so that's what I'm gonna do at some point or another. But they're used for crafting items. Items do a wide number of things. They can heal you, they can grant you temporary invincibility, they can grant you temporary strength increases, and they can also refill your magic meter. And there's all varying levels to that, ranging from essentially there's a medium, essentially there's a small heal in any of those, and a large one. Let's see, there's also an item called the Red Hot Shot, which once Bayonetta dies, instantly revives her. At like, I believe it's half the consequence of an actual death, because I'm pretty sure I described it at the beginning in the first part, but you're ranked at the end of each chapter based on how well you do, and dying results in huge consequences. If you're trying to go for a platinum run, which you need platinum in all the chapters on at least normal difficulty or above to unlock a super special little goodie, you can't die and all that. That also means you can't use items because for whatever reason they decided that items cause a penalty, which thankfully in the second game they did away with that penalty, and I was ever grateful for, because man, and especially on the higher difficulties, did I have to use items absolutely frequently. It was insane, and I had no idea. And I actually had to use a really cheap accessory. Yeah, I had to use a really cheap accessory to get through some of the later parts of the Infinite Climax difficulty. I'll have to revisit them at some point or another. Actually do it properly, because, well, I know I can do it. I've been playing this game for a while anyway, so. In the second game, overall, I found the second game to be significantly easier than the first game. I don't know if it was just the fact that I have so much playtime on this game, or if it just actually is easier with the direction they decided to go. Because this game definitely plays up the arcadey feel to it, whereas the second game kind of diverts a bit from arcade and goes for more of a straight up action game, which, don't get me wrong, is not a bad thing by any stretch of the means, but I don't know, it just feels a lot different, and I'm on the fence as to whether I really enjoy it more than the first game, or if I still enjoy the first game more, which are both possibilities. I don't know, I tend to be pretty picky when it comes to video games, especially video games that are like this. You know, you have that initial crazy experience and it's just like, what in the world is happening? You don't understand anything, and you don't want that experience to change up too much. However, that being said, the experience between this game and the second game borrows a lot of elements that made the first game amazing, and I mean a lot. But, however, that's not to its downfall. I still really enjoy those moments when they happen, you know. it just gave me very fond memories of, when I played this game and get the enjoyment out of this game. However, that also raises the question for me, when I was enjoying the second game, was I enjoying the second game because it gave me the nostalgic feelings of this game? And again, that is still to be determined by me. I haven't figured out whether that's a good thing or whether it's not a good thing, but good or bad, I still have managed to sink in plenty of hours into that game, and I'm nowhere near done. There's still much more to the game, despite the fact that the game's main story is roughly 2 hours shorter than this one's. This game is about a 12-hour game if you don't, depending on how fast you can do everything, and if you do all the Alfheim challenges and all the goodies and all that. It's about 12 hours, whereas in the first game, and I missed a lot of things in the first game going through it, or the first game, what? The second game. I missed a lot of things early on, but that I found, and after watching several online video reviews, found it to be roughly a 10-hour story, give or take. I guess it depends on what you do. And like I said, in some ways it's significantly easier, which probably helps aid that shortened campaign, that shortened story time process. But, it's still a fantastic game. I still plan to play it all the time because, well, that's what these games do, is they just keep bringing me back and back for repeated playthroughs.
I knew it. This town's teeming with heaven's little helpers. It's making my buddies downstairs awfully nervous.
And your point is?
Some places in this world are closer to Paradiso or Inferno. The rat hole of a town you and I live in is close to both. But the Vigridians, they got a special air about them. They're closer to Paradiso than anyone should ever be. And that shit just plain creeps me out. I guess I'm gonna have to set up shop here and score me some halos. These stupid rings are worth a fortune back home. Since it seems you're spoiling for a fight, if you come across any of these, bring them to me, and I'll hook you up.
Another one looking to line his pockets. I'm beginning to see why Enzo is so fond of you.
Real cute. But let's get one thing straight. Your fights are yours alone. I'm only here to watch my handiwork in action. So don't get any bright ideas about coming to me for help.
No, you get one thing straight. I'm not the slightest bit interested in the fact that you made these guns. If you get in my way, I will... How do the Americans put it? Oh yes, bust a cap in your ass.
Right on, baby. Right on.
Alright, and with that, we have access to the game's shop, which you can purchase numerous amounts of things. This game is, by design, I think most people classify as an action hack and slash, in which I completely agree with that, but at the same time it has several moves, kind of like a fighting game. So it essentially combines the best of both worlds into one of the most action-heavy games that I've played to date. And with it, the moveset that you have is not just the moveset you stick with. And I'll actually go in here. I can't destroy that. I'll go in here and I will show off those gates of hell, aka this game's shop.
You here for business or pleasure? Either way, I'll hook you up.
Alright, so this is the Gates of Hell. It's the game shop, and from here you can buy everything you see here, from weapons all the way to Rodon's treasures, which at the moment none of these are unlocked. Pretty much all of these are post-game. I just noticed that I love Chick's thing in the back. That's pretty funny. Not really, but I know these are all post-game after you beat it in the first time. The main things you're really going to want to focus when you're playing the game, at least for the first time. After you get into what is essentially New Game Plus and whatnot, you can go into all of them, but the main primary ones are weapons, which, as you can see here, there's only 3, and what they are, they're weapon alts, which I will explain later once they become relevant. You have accessories, which cost a hell of a lot of halos. However, they all do some pretty neat things, and it all just depends on what difficulty you're playing and what exactly you want. I will show them all off at some point or another, but for the most part, I don't really use them. They tend to get in my way, and the only one that I use more often than others is this neat little thing here called the Gaze of Despair. And when you wear that, it makes the enemies grow hostile towards you. And once they grow hostile, they attack harder, faster, and when you hit them, you get more score, which is great for platinum runs, in some cases, I believe, mandatory. And on this side, we got items, which these are, you got green herb lollipops, which are your healing. You have red lollipops, which are your damage increase. Yellow, which is your temporary invincibility. Purple, which allows you to refill your magic meter by using them. You have the red hot shot, which, as I explained earlier, allows you to, what it does is it revives you after you get hit for a small amount of health. The Witch Heart, which it's a full Witch Heart, so once you purchase it, it permanently increases your life by a little bit. And the Moon Pearl, which once purchased, permanently increases your magic meter by 1 little orb. And if you look behind the menu at the actual stuff, you'll see the Witch Heart, which is beating and kind of freaky looking. The Moon Pearl to the right, and immediately to the right is another item. You cannot purchase this in the store. You can only purchase it either via the minigame Angel Attack, which happens at the end of every chapter, or by crafting it. And what it does is it hurts all the enemies in the area. I have never once used it. I've never felt the need to use it. So I might show it off for Let's Play purposes, but for the most part I tend to leave all items alone as much as possible because they do reduce your score, and while I'm not going for pure platinum run, I still want to try to get as much score as possible. And these are the most important things, and these are all techniques, and I will be purchasing all of them and possibly using all of them. I can't guarantee I will. But right off the bat, you're going to want to buy air dodge, which should honestly be a thing right from the start of the game, but they just decided not to, and that bothers me a lot. And you're also going to want to purchase breakdance, which I will demonstrate right after I get out of here. Okay. Now the air dodge is self-explanatory, allows you to dodge in the air. Like I said, it should have been something that they just included in the game to begin with, because it's a dodge in the air. Thankfully, Bayonetta 2 rectifies this, and you have air dodge and another ability we will get later down the line as permanent things, so you don't just lose everything at the start of the game. However, in this game, that other ability that I will get to later is actually plot important in this game, so that's the only reason I don't complain that you don't have it from the start, although I wish I did, because I always feel like I have it and I try to activate it. It doesn't work. It also gives you a neat little dodge spam thing to where you can essentially have infinite dodge, but I feel like the ability to your ability to dodge decreases from that. And sometimes it throws me off. I tend to get hit more when I do that, but that could just be me. And as it shows you right there, it's a breakdance. You hold the dodge button, boom, she starts breakdancing and she shoots her guns everywhere. It's insane, it's crazy, but they go everywhere. It's great for holding your combo. It's also really good. I don't remember which Alfheim challenge it is, but once I get to said challenge, it makes it significantly easier. Alright, and I don't remember if I've gotten to chests or not, but basically scattered throughout the game, like all the hidden goodies that I described. Gross. Like all the goodies that I've described, there are chests. If you are wearing the Hyrule of Time let me start that over. If you're wearing the Hero of Time outfit, they make a opening chest sound from Link's Awakening? No, I'm sorry, A Link to the Past. Link to the Past, yeah. And they produce anything ranging from halos to, as you saw right there, Broken Witch Heart, to Broken Moon Pearl, to just a bunch of number of things, even arcade bullets, which are used for that Angel Attack minigame that I will show off pretty much at the end of the chapter. It happens once at the end, and I'll explain it in more detail once I get there. Alright, now these little guys, rather obnoxious. This is a crow. You run up to it, boom. You pick it up, bam. There are 51 crows to find in the game. Each of one has an Umbran Tear of Blood. Not all of them can be found on normal difficulty, so if you're going crow hunting, you're really going to want to be on the hardest difficulty, which is unlocked, I think, after completing the game once. It's called Nonstop Infinite Climax. It is a really frustratingly hard difficulty, with the main challenge being it removes your witch time, although it is not impossible. There are 51, excuse me, I lost my train of thought for a second, crows. There are 51 crows in that, and there's a total of 101 in the game, 50 of them being the achievements. There is an item you get for getting every single crow, and that is rather detrimental if you want easy halo grinding in the game to purchase all the items. I don't think I'm going to show off the location of all the crows. I might if I feel like hating myself for a while. There is an easier way to get the item in question that I will show that off once we get there, or at least describe the point. I don't know if you can do it straight off the bat. I know I definitely don't have enough halos. But anyway, we are coming up to a cutscene, I believe.